Did you know that you don't need to have money to get access to money in many cases? People out there with no savings, no jobs, and sometimes not even good credit, they're finding legitimate ways to fund their dreams and achieve their greatest potential. Whether it's that they're launching a business, whether it's that they're going back to school to pursue higher education, it could be that they're trying to escape the 9-to-5 job that they detest, or they want money to travel, or even to shop and buy things that they don't really need, but they want. There are ways to legitimately get access to money to do those things with $0, without a job, without good credit, and all that good stuff. And I'm going to share with you several ways in this video to get access to money if you're starting from zero. And if you're a club member, click the link below because there's a video with up to 13 ways that you can use to get access to money. That said, let's get right to it. Now, what you're going to find in this video is that the different options are very different, meaning one way to get access to money could be suited for one individual, and there's another way that's completely different and suited for a totally different personality or a different need. There's something here for everybody, is what I can say. So listen and determine which one suits your needs best. But also I want you to pay attention to the pros and the cons of each method, because some of these, while I'm sharing them, I don't encourage you to use them unless you're in dire circumstances. Now let's start with the first one on the list, and it is venture capital, or VC. And this is an option to turn big ideas into big money. In my opinion, this kind of money is best for ambitious entrepreneurs with high growth business ideas who want to achieve something tremendous. VCs don't lend money. They actually invest in your business in exchange, usually for equity or in some cases revenue share. They're basically betting on your success. To get access to this kind of money, you need to first create a strong pitch deck, and this needs to identify the problem, the solution, the market, and a revenue model. The second step is to join platforms like AngelList or Ghost, and these platforms will give you access to venture capitalists. The third step is to attend pitch competitions or reach out to early stage investors, because there are some people who advertise themselves as early stage investors or angel investors. Let me give you an example, and I'm sure you probably did not know this. Were you aware that Airbnb started in 2008 when the founders, Brian and Joe, rented out their air mattresses during a conference? Initially, all their proposals were rejected by many investors, but they eventually received, I think it was about $20,000 from Y Combinator and $600,000 from Sequoia Capital. Over time, Airbnb raised over $6 billion in VC funding and went public in 2020 with a $100 billion valuation. Key takeaway to note is that Airbnb started with no money, just an idea, and then they used venture capital to scale into a global brand that all of us know and some of us love. So here are some of the pros with getting access to money using venture capital or VC. No repayment is required because you're going to trade equity or revenue share or something like that. It's going to have to be agreed to by both parties, the investor and the receiver. Sometimes you'll get access to mentorship and resources, and it's great for scaling in a fast pace. Take note, however, of some of the cons. You give up ownership, and that's in the form of equity, where you're basically saying, for this much money, I'm giving you 5% or 20%, whatever you deem equitable, and that's ownership of your business. It's also extremely competitive to get access to this kind of money. So make sure you stay tuned for other options in the event you're not into that kind of shuffle or scruffle. But that said, let me move to the second way that you can get access to money. And most of you may be familiar with this. It's a HELOC, or a home equity line of credit. This is where you'll be able to borrow money from your own home. Now, it's best for homeowners with decent equity in their property. And let me just explain how it works. A HELOC lets you borrow against your home's value, and it's kind of like a credit card. You only pay interest on what you use, not what you borrow. Let's say, as an example, the value of your home is $200,000, and let's say you owe about $120,000 in mortgage payments. It means that your equity, 200,000 minus 120,000, is $80,000. Usually the available HELOC is about 85% of the equity. So in this example, it would be $68,000. Now, some of the pros for getting access to money this particular way is the low interest rates that you can benefit from because you're putting up a valuable asset, the reusable line of credit, and the ability to use what you get access to in the form of cash in a flexible way. But there are obvious cons. And this is not one of them that I highly recommend because you can end up losing your home if you default on your payments. The second con is the fact that this is not for everyone because only homeowners have access to this kind of equity. Now, knowing this is not for everyone, let's move to the third option, which is a cosigner loan. This is where you can borrow with a boost. It's best for people with very bad credit or no credit at all. This is how it works. A person that trusts you with strong credit co-signs your loan application, helping you to qualify for better loan terms. As an example, let's say Mike needs access to some money, and his sister co-signs his $15,000 student loan. Mike repays it on time, so his sister is relieved, and in doing so, he actually builds solid credit. Some of the pros include higher loan approval chances because you're leveraging someone with good credit, and you also get access to lower interest rates than if you were to go and try to apply for a loan with no credit or bad credit. Some of the cons, however, include the fact that there's a risk to the person who is co-signing if you default, because they're going to be liable for this money, which is one reason why a lot of people don't do this. And it can also damage relationships if you don't handle it in a responsible way. Can you imagine Mike not paying this money back and his sister malicing him for the rest of his life? Anyway, we won't take it to that extreme, but anything is possible. Now, the next option on the list is what's referred to as a collateral-based loan. And you don't need money, but you need things to get access to this. You're basically using what you own. This is best for those who have valuable assets, but have no cash. You can use things like your car, land, gold, if you have some, or even tools as collaterals to secure this loan. Some of the pros include easier approval with low credit because you're giving them access to something of value. Another pro includes the fact that you can get access to larger loan amounts because, again, you're giving something of value. Some of the cons include the risk of losing that asset if you miss payments consistently. And there's also usually a short repayment timeline when you get access to this kind of loan. What I would say here is if you're not disciplined in making loan payments, you probably are going to lose your assets. So don't go this route. Now, the next option on the list is credit cards, but for strategic short-term funding. It's actually best for, again, short-term needs with a repayment plan. Let me explain how this works. You can leverage credit cards with 0% introductory APR, cash advances, or balance transfers. An example of this is, let's say you get access to a credit card that has $5,000 on it with 0% APR. For 15 months, you're going to be paying back $335 monthly without interest. Some of the pros of leveraging this method includes the fact that you get fast access to money, and also you get interest-free periods, and this can be a huge advantage. Some of the cons include high interest rate if you don't fulfill your payment obligations. And of course, this can damage your credit if it's misused. Now let's move to the next option on our list, and it's peer-to-peer lending, or P2P, and this is where you bypass banks. Now it's best for people with fair credit, but you don't need any bank support to get access to this. P2P platforms out there like Prosper or Lending Club, they actually connect borrowers directly with individual lenders. Some of the pros of this method includes easier approval when compared to a traditional bank, and the terms are always very transparent, so you know what you're getting into. Some of the cons include the fact that the rates may vary and they may be higher than a traditional bank. And another con is the fact that they still check credit in a lot of cases, and they may charge fees to give you access to this money. Now, the next method that you can get access to money is through crowdfunding, and this is one that I absolutely love. This is a way of getting the internet to fund your dreams. It can be used for creative projects. If you have a medical emergency, as an example, it can be used to cover that. I've seen people use it to pay for funerals, for startups, to fund your education. And some of the platforms include Kickstarter, which is one of my favorite to recommend people to, GoFundMe, which many of you are aware of, and Indiegogo, which is also another popular one. Tips to consider: make sure you tell a story, whether it's a story of how you're going to launch this business and be successful, or the story that you're having challenges getting access to money to pay for your medical needs, or the fact that you just don't have money to cover a funeral or an emergency that you did not see coming. By adding photos and videos, you actually increase your chances of getting access to crowdfunded money. You can also share this need to family and friends using WhatsApp or on social media so that more people will hop onto these platforms and contribute to your cause. Some of the pros include the fact that there's no repayment required, and it's also good for building community support, but there are some cons. You may need to market the fact that you need access to these funds so that people can contribute, and it's not guaranteed. Many campaigns have failed, many persons have asked for money and not gotten it, and it's also very competitive because there are a lot of people out there looking to get access to free money. Now, like I said earlier, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're not getting the entire list. You're only getting access to a few of the options. The full video has been posted on my Patreon membership platform, and I've placed a link in the description where you can click to get access to that video. Subscribe or as a club member, you can click the link to watch the video. Now, in closing, I want you to choose from these options carefully, because let's be honest, not all money is good money. While these methods can help you to get funding, each one has its own risks, as I just shared. Make sure you read all the fine prints, avoid any scams, and choose options that aligns with your risk tolerance and your payment ability. Thanks for watching, and remember to walk good until I see you again.